Coming up, there is a concerted effort by the left in the Western world to declare war on the right's ability to be a part of the democratic political process. In the USA, in Romania, in Germany, in Ireland, and in France, among others. The war of the left on democracy has both been most keenly and obviously felt in the United States. First, you had lawfare against Donald Trump in the New York court.
Lawfare is the use of legal processes, either civil or criminal, to go after a political opponent.
And Mr. Epstein, Alvin Bragg's 34-count indictment against President Trump was the first time a former president had been indicted in history. Is that correct?
That's correct.
But the facts of that case had been known for years. Isn't that also true?
Yes, and litigated.
And why did federal prosecutors then choose not to charge President Trump?
Obviously, they didn't think that the evidence substantiated any crimes.
Do we yet know what the underlying crime was that Donald Trump allegedly committed that was the basis for the convictions?
Well, obviously, the underlying New York criminal statute was interpreted broadly, but the supposition is that the president, through this alleged hush money scheme, was engaging in election crimes, and even, of course, the case directly referred to federal election crimes.
But what do you mean supposition? Didn't they have to prove that that's what he had done?
And of course, there was no unanimous jury determination on that.
This discussion relates to the hush money 34 felonies trial in New York. This was particularly egregious since Alvin Bragg, the prosecutor in New York, made clear during his election campaign that one of his primary policies was to go after Donald Trump. As Stalin's deputy president Beria said, "Show me the man and I'll show you the crime." Beria was a murderous thug, and Bragg decided to take the "show me" mantra from Beria and use it against Trump. It was a trumped-up charge, pun intended, and even now, nobody would be able to tell you what specifically Trump was found guilty of. This was all done in an attempt to eliminate Trump from being able to stand, at best from the Democrats' perspective, or at worst, so damage him politically that Trump would have no chance of winning an election. Unfortunately for Bragg in particular and the Democrats in general, the citizens of America saw right through the blatant politicization of the legal system and punished the Democrats accordingly. But the civil and criminal lawfare against Trump was not the end of it.
Tonight, groups in several states are trying to block former President Donald Trump from appearing on the ballot, and they're invoking the 14th Amendment to do it.
But is it constitutional? CBS 13's Dominic Garcia is getting answers for.
The Democrats tried another tack in addition to the civil and criminal suits against Trump. They also tried to keep Trump off the ballot paper in a number of states, and it actually required the Supreme Court to kill this nonsense off. But just imagine if the Supreme Court had been predominantly liberal judges, Democrats. Then the Democrats would have got what they wanted, Trump off the ballot. This is a clear war against democracy. And it did not work in the US. So Democrats tried gaslighting Americans, saying in an Orwellian way that it was Trump and the Republicans who were trying to destroy democracy. If you enjoy this content, please like, share and subscribe. But other countries that are also part of the Western globalist cabal have decided to go down the same road as was attempted by the Democrats. Take Romania, where Colin Georgescu, who won the first round of elections, was similarly treated.
The decision of the court here echoed around the world, cancelling an election because of alleged interference by Russia. Authorities here believe Moscow amplified the social media campaign of populist Colin Georgescu, who had risen from obscurity to become the front runner to win the presidency. But these documents from the Secret Service allege he was backed by Russia, something he denied when we spoke just 24 hours before the election was called off. Even then, Georgescu claimed the state was trying to block him.
They asked and they met for one purpose, to eliminate one of the candidates. I mean, you know, how many problems has Romania today? And they are doing this meeting just for this purpose, which is incredible. I mean, what is the democracy?
Georgescu won the first round, so the globalist left elite decided that they had to exclude him or stop elections so that he could not win the election. How dare someone who did not agree with a left globalist view dare to run for election, never mind potentially win it? So in a copy of the Russia, Russia, Russia hoax, that was a discredited campaign in the US, where the intelligence service, in this case 51 FBI agents, were used to try to discredit Trump, the Romanian government decided on the exact, and I mean exact same ploy. It was Russian interference in the election. So, cleverly detected by the Romanian intelligence agencies. So the court then cancelled the runoff election, which is yet to be held. But it doesn't stop there. Look at Germany and the right-wing AfD.
The German parliament here in Berlin has been debating proposals to ban the far-right Alternative for Germany party known as the AfD. The AfD is under surveillance by Germany's domestic intelligence agency for potentially posing a threat to democracy. Although parts of the party have been officially classified as far-right extremist, it is predicted to perform strongly in national elections next month.
So, step one. In an echo of what the Democrats tried to do with Trump, they tried to ban the AfD so that it could not run in the election. Once again, with gaslighting and Orwellian talk, they tried to ban the party's right to contest a democratic election in an attempt to supposedly save democracy. Now, where have we heard that before? Of course, they had to call the party far right. And once again, we have the intelligence services involved. You see a clear, coordinated pattern of behaviour to the way the globalist West elite, the leftists, want to exclude anyone who does not follow what they believe to be acceptable. Fortunately, the move to ban the AfD didn't work. So they went down another track.
Last week, a CDU motion for stricter migration policies passed only with support from the far-right Alternative for Germany. That's planted seeds of distrust among the other parties in Parliament, parties that Friedrich Merz needs to keep on his side for coalition talks after the election. Conservative figures are resolute. They will not work with the far-right.
No, no, no to any cooperation with the AfD.
So, the parties in the Bundestag, the German parliament, have all stated that they will not work with the AfD. Once again, you see the legacy media getting their marching orders from the globalist left, referring to any party that is anywhere to the right of centre as far right. This is absolutely reprehensible behaviour, and of course, in a centre-right party refusing to deal with a right-wing party, you have the inevitable problems ensuing.
The German government coalition talks have reached a new level according to the party leaders in Berlin on Friday. Germany's next potential Chancellor Friedrich Merz said that there are still hurdles to overcome, but that he is confident that the parties will manage it. The CDU leader is keen to form a government before Easter, but negotiations are proving tricky. Currently, the Christian Democrats and Social Democrats are disagreeing on how to finance the election campaign promises, namely if tax for higher earners or corporations will be raised. They are also yet to come to an agreement about pensions and conscription.
So, the centre-right CDU is negotiating with the left-wing Social Democrats, with inevitable issues coming up with this. The Socialist Social Democrats, of course, want to be a big spending, big government. So you have the German economy that's in crisis. The majority of Germans voted right of centre. But because of the stupidity of parties not wanting to deal with the AfD, Germans are going to end up with a government that the socialist left globalist elite will be happy with, to Germany's detriment. But if you think that this is not enough evidence of the globalist left elite pushing a coordinated campaign, next comes Ireland.
Conor McGregor wants to walk out of the White House.
Happy Paddy's Day, America!
And into another White House, the residence of the Irish president. Embraced by Donald Trump, the former UFC champion says he will run in Ireland's presidential election later this year. But Sky News can reveal just how difficult it will be for him to get on the ballot. To enter the electoral octagon, Conor McGregor needs the backing of 20 members of the Irish Parliament. There are 234 in total across two houses, so we contacted them all. 134 got back to us, and of those, 0 said they would support a McGregor run.
With Ireland, you have former UFC champion Conor McGregor wanting to run for President of Ireland. Once again, the left globalist elite do not want right-wing Conor McGregor to run for president, given his views and particularly his anti-immigration stance. The global left elite will have none of that, so they have clearly warned all of the Irish members of Parliament that they will not countenance anyone who supports his right to run. Not support him as president, mind you, just his right to run. They have felt so pressured that all 134 members of Parliament in Ireland that responded have stated that they won't support his right to run. This is the anti-democratic globalist elite for you. And we're not done yet. Let's go to France and right-wing politician Marine Le Pen, favoured to win the next presidential election in France.
Strident, confident and unapologetic, Marine Le Pen's brand of politics had made her the front-runner to become France's next president. Now that ambition has been dashed. She's been banned from running in the next election. Le Pen had strolled into a Paris courtroom today, charged with helping to embezzle millions of euros. She stormed out early, knowing she'd been found guilty, bristling with anger.
Rendez-vous compte. Do you realise that on this fateful day, Monday the 31st of March 2025, such a critical day, what this represents for our democracy and for our country, when millions of French people will be denied by a court judge without any possible recourse, the candidate who was until today the favourite to win the presidential elections. Surely that must shock and horrify all those who respect democracy and the rule of law.
France decided to go the lawfare route to prevent Le Pen from running. So they use a charge of embezzling funds. Sounds rather like the Trump hush money case, doesn't it? As a means to disqualify Le Pen as a candidate. The judiciary were only too happy to follow their globalist left masters and find her guilty and ban her from running in the next election, or indeed any other election in the next 5 years. So here we see the globalist left's playbook at work time and again. They use the legal system wherever possible to exclude political competition, whether it be banning them from being a candidate, finding them guilty of something to politically damage them, or use the political system, putting pressure on those in parliaments to prevent those on the right from ever gaining power. We see it even after the right candidate wins, as in the case of the US at the moment, where Trump obviously won, where lawfare then is used at every step to try to prevent any agenda than the left one from going ahead. But what do you think? Do you think that I'm exaggerating the danger based on the examples I've provided? Please let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.